Welcome to the poker vlog. This is a very special episode number 8. Special because it's my first time playing poker in Texas, just outside of Austin at the Lodge Card Club. Got news that Andrew Nemi and Brad Owen took a piece of this club. I was already coming to Texas, so definitely wanted to stop by and show support. Congratulate those guys. Looks like there's going to be some big things to come here. So let's get in there and check it out. Here we go, the Lodge Mahal. Let's get started. I'm digging the vibes right when I walk in. It's a big open space, nice and quiet, nothing but the sounds of chips shuffling, no casino slots buzzing in my ear. Staff was awesome, friendly. I get on the list for 2-5, play 1-2 for about 10 minutes, and then I get called for the 2-5. It's a 3 to 1500 max. You can also match the biggest stack. I buy in for 1,000. I'm not looking to get too out of hand. I only have about 3 or 4 hours to play tonight, so let's get started. About 10 minutes in, I pick up Ace-King suited. Under the gun straddle is on for $10. Plus 2 opens for 45. He has about 1,500. I have 970. It's folded to me. I 3-bet to 120. It folds back around to the original raiser who makes the call. Flop comes deuce 3-4 of spades. He checks to me. I'm not sure why I land on a super small bet size here, but for some reason I felt like it would induce a raise from this player. I bet 45. He doesn't take much time before raising to 245, and here we go. He could be making a play here, so I like just calling to keep his bluffs in on the turn. So I just flat looking for a blank, and we get it. Turn is a 10 of diamonds, and he quickly goes all in. I toss out a chip for a call, and the river is a 7 of clubs. I show the nut flush and get my first double up in Texas.
Big up.
Next we have a $25 bomb pot, and we are playing Pot Limit Omaha with 2 boards. Oh boy. I'm not a PLO player, so I'll be playing these super cautious. I have King, Queen, Queen 7 here. Flop on the first board comes King 9-7. And second flop is Queen Deuce 6 with 2 hearts. So a pretty solid 2 pair up top and top set on bottom. Checked to middle position player who bets 200. I call and everyone else folds. Heads up to a 5 of clubs and 10 of diamonds for the turn cards. Top set is still the nuts on bottom here. So after he bets 400 on the turn, I feel okay raising the pot. And I'm all in for 1,530. He calls. River is 4 of clubs and 5 of spades, so we don't improve anywhere. Opponent shows Ace, King, 5-7 for the same 2 pair on top as me, but missed the flush draw on bottom. So I pick up a nice pot, winning 75% of the total pot. Nothing eventful happens in Hold'em, so on to the next Omaha $25 bomb pot. I have King 9, Jack 9 in the cutoff. Flop comes King 10-9 and 3-6-7 rainbow. Player on my right has about 260 left and bets the pot 225. I call with bottom set and a straight draw for the top, and the big blind calls. So we're 3 ways to a turn card of the 4 of clubs and ace of spades. Great news is both players check to me, so seems like my set of 9s is probably good. I check and rivers are 4 of spades and 3 of spades. Big blind bets 700. Player on my right goes all in for his remaining 32. I call, and big blind has ace-ace 4-8 for aces full on bottom. We chop as I have a full house. The all-in player shows Queen Jack 5-3, so I was behind on that top board, but luckily filled up to chop that pot. If the player on my right had more chips, I'd probably just fold bottom set on that flop with a straight out there and 2 bigger sets.
9's full. Top it all up this way.
Next, we pick up kings in middle position. $10 under the gun straddle is on. There have been 3 bets almost every hand, so I'm hoping to play a big one here. I raise to 35. Masks are not required here, so it must have been written all over my face as everybody folds immediately. Just 10 minutes later, I pick up queens. Under the gun and +1 limp. I'm not really worried about them with big hands. They've been limping a few times. I raise to 25. It gets to the player in the hijack. He puts in a 3-bet to 75. He's got a little over 4,000 in his stack. Both early limpers call the 75. I don't really want to go to a flop 4 ways here, so a 4-bet is definitely in order to possibly take down the dead money or just get heads up. So I re-raised to 425, and it's back to the 3-better. He goes into the tank for a while, checks his cards a few times, finally settles on a 5-bet to 1,300. It's folded back to me. Super tough spot here, as 5-bets are just so strong almost all the time. I don't really want to be in a flipping at best type situation here for my whole stack of almost 3,000. The only info I have on this opponent is he hasn't really gotten out of line yet this session. I decided to make the discipline laydown here. I probably made a small mistake with my 4-bet sizing. I think I could have made it like 375 to get the same information. But on to the next hand. Here we go, back to another Omaha bomb pot, $25 a player. I have ace queen 7-4 on the button. Flop comes out king 10-9 and 7-7-6. So we have a gut shot up top and trip 7s on bottom, so I'm definitely sticking around here. Nice to see everyone check to me. I bet 200. Folds all the way back to the player that I quartered earlier in the last bomb pot, and he makes the call. Heads up to a turn card of the Queen of Hearts and Queen of Diamonds. He checks to me. We turn the nuts on bottom now and a pair of queens up top. So I continue and bet 400, and he makes the call again. River cards, Deuce of Diamonds, 10 of Hearts. He checks again, and I'm so embarrassed to say that I check behind, just expecting to chop, but we don't. He shows ace 7, 4, 8. He had nothing on top and trip 7s on bottom, so I scoop the whole pot, miss a ton of value. Not sure if he does call a pot size bet on the turn with only trips, but I definitely have to bet that river even if I think it's going to be a chop. I don't know what I was thinking. I needed to take a second and just analyze the board like I do in Hold'em and really think of what he could have. I mean, I had the nuts on bottom basically. Only pocket 10s beat me, and that really wasn't possible. He's not checking the river there with 10s full. So, lesson learned. Let's move on. Back to the 2-card game. Speaking of pocket 10s, we picked them up for middle position. $10 straddle is back on the button. Under the gun player limps. Player on my right limps. I raise to 50. Folds back to the player on my right who makes the call. He's got about 1,000 in his stack. We're heads up to a flop that I believe Andrew Nemi would call favorable. 10-10-3. We flop quads. We are just running ridiculous right now. Opponent checks to me. I obviously check back. Turn is an ace of clubs. Opponent checks his cards for clubs, likes what he sees. He puts out a small bet of 35. Definitely just calling here, hoping he improves his hand, and I also want to keep his bluffs in. River is a 6 of hearts. Blank. He bets 105 now. I'm wondering how much he would call with an ace here. I want to appear like I'm bluffing, so I go for bigger sizing and raise to 375. He thinks for about 15 seconds and does make a nice laydown. I show him the quads. We're running ridiculous in both games. Poker is fun. Next, we are back to another Omaha bomb pot. I've been involved in the last 3, so let's keep this heater going. I have a nice starting hand in the small blind of Queen 10, 8, 9, double suited. Flops are 10, 10, 7, and Queen 6 deuce with 2 hearts. So trip 10s with an open-ended straight draw on top and top pair on bottom. Feeling good about this, so I lead out for 200. Folds to middle position player who says pot and shoves all in for 800. I call. Boards run out 8 of hearts, 4 of hearts, and 6 of clubs, jack of diamonds. He shows us king 10, 5-4 for trip 10s up top and a pair of 4s on the bottom. We scoop another one. I have 10s full for the nuts on top, and 1 pair of queens holds up on bottom. Unreal.
Good hand, man. Just been scooping all the bomb pots, man.
Right?
Haven't you? Like, holy shit.
Nasty. We are up $3,270 now. I play one more orbit. Couple of action players left. Nothing but sharks remain. I think it's time to rack it up. Call it a night. Book win number 8 consecutive for the vlog. Had a blast playing here in Texas. Looking forward to coming back. Alright guys, that's it. I really appreciate you stopping in and checking out the video. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like and subscribe. If you'd like to support the channel, it's always free to do that. I appreciate it. Wow, what a crazy session. I had no idea we were going to be playing some large Omaha pots. That could have gotten way out of hand. I definitely have some things to learn in Omaha, and I might actually start playing a little bit of that just to make sure I'm ready for these deep stack bomb pots. I could have sat out on the bomb pots, but that's no fun. We want to get in the action and learn some things, and I definitely learned a few things today in Omaha, so going to keep that in mind for the next time I'm in the game. Yeah, not too much to talk about from today's session. Short and super sweet. Biggest win of the vlog so far. The hold'em hands were pretty straightforward. Flopping the nuts, pretty easy game when that happens. The queens, I like the laydown there. I didn't have enough information to stick in 3,000 there with pocket queens to a 5-bet. I just don't like that spot. 5-bets are just so strong. I was in the exact same scenario last session, so I put a guy to a test with ace-king suited when I 5-bet jammed, and he reluctantly called with queens. He held up, but you know, those are spots I don't really like to be in. At the end of each video, I like to put my stats up here so you can check those out. This was our 8th consecutive win, so that's awesome. I'm just running hot right now. I know this hourly is not going to remain this high, but hey, I've won 18 sessions in a row before, so let's keep this going. If you somehow landed on my channel before Andrew Nemi and Brad Owen, go check those guys out. Content is incredible. Those guys were the original vloggers from, what, 4 or 5 years ago, so they've been around for a long time. Great content. Check them out. All right, let's cap this video off with one of my favorite trick shots, and since we were in Texas, let's make it a football one. Enjoy, everybody, and thanks for watching. We'll see you next Sunday.
Wait, I thought I went over.
Get there.
Go!